What's going on, y'all? Thank you for clicking on the video. This is the epilogue to Depression, Not the Only Man. I hope you enjoyed it. Just to get this kicked off, I'll break every piece down bit by bit. One, um, I've gotten my heart broken more times than I would like to admit. I'm not tripping, it's only made me a better man. Two, I've never paid a dime of child support in my life. I have no kids. Three, I've never struggled with my sexual identity. I am a heterosexual male. No disrespect to my homosexual family and friends. I just know who I am. And four, yes, on several occasions I have contemplated suicide. I'm not the only one, so did Biggie Smalls. So got that out the way. This piece came about, one, because as previously said, when I write from a very emotional place. And in going there, I always encourage myself by saying, whatever I'm going through, I'm not the only man who's gone through a similar situation before. So that helps me to put the emotions through the pen to the pad. Um, there was a posting on one of those Facebook groups I'm in, the dating conversation, 30 and up and doing us. Can't remember which one, but shout out to both of them. Well, they were asking men to explain times in their lives where they had been hurt by a woman. And yo, it was like hundreds of responses, man. And many men, across this whole nation had the same dadgum stories. Yo, it got some scandalous ass women out there, It got some women out there with more game than Parker Brothers. That's the truth. I know a few. Um, and it was crazy to see how these men were all pouring out their emotions to this open group. And it's like, a lot of times as men, we put up these shells because we don't want to appear weak, and we put up these shells because we fear being ridiculed. Tony Terry had a song a long time ago. I was a child, but it was called When a Man Cries. And when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, whenever it came out, I thought that had to be the sappiest damn song in history. And to a point, I kind of still think it is. But it's real. Men cry, men hurt, and men hurt over women. So, in that regards, writing the first piece about heartbreak was not hard at all. I've been heartbroken. Have stories of my partners, family members being heartbroken. So that part was easy. I can write that from experience just by myself. The second part in regards to child support, I have a lot of family and friends who pay child support and they don't have the chance to see their kids. I don't know what the situations are, different situations. Maybe they work out of town or the kids live out of town. But the worst of the situations is the baby mama just won't let them see their kids. And yo, man, that hurts. If you are a woman out there that's keeping your baby daddy or ex-husband from seeing your children, get off that, man. You always hear the stories of the deadbeat dads, and we get it, they're prevalent. But there are men out there who desire to be good fathers, and be in their children's lives. And to have that taken away from them is really detrimental, man, to their well-being, yo. I can't imagine what it would be like going, day to day, not being able to see or speak to your kids. Even more so, and I know several instances about men paying child support for kids who biologically aren't theirs. That's some scandalous shit. And I know men who have been in situations like that before, and I can't imagine the pain of investing time and love into a child only for, saying a woman with ulterior motives to just come out and say he's not yours. We watch Maury Povich, what I'm saying, and everybody wants to cackle, when, turns out the man is the father. But what about those situations where the man is not the father and he wants to be? That's a pain I wouldn't wish on nobody, man. I had to go to a really dark place to write about the sexual identity part. One, because I've never struggled with my sexual identity, so I don't know what that's like. But in doing my research, man, there's an entire Wikipedia page that's dedicated to violent attacks against the LGBTQ community. And that shit is disturbing, because in the early going, it breaks down attacks by decade, and every decade the attacks seem to double. So by the time it gets to the 2010s, they're broken down by year. And you got to think, those are just the attacks that are reported on. What about all the attacks that aren't reported? And it's just amazing and disturbing to see the hatred for the LGBTQ community to grow like that over the matter of 50 years. I have family and friends who are in the LGBTQ community, and I couldn't imagine spending a day in their shoes, going through everything that they go through, man. The hatred, the ridicule, the nasty looks, the nasty words, the acts of violence. Yo, man, that Post nightclub incident, that was just flat out ridiculous, man. And it hurt. And I sincerely pray for all the victims, you know, not only of the Post nightclub, but victims who were reported and unreported. You know, random attacks of violence against you just because you're homosexual. That's hatred. That's not love, man. And we got to find a way to get that hatred out, man. We just gotta pray. And God continues to guide this nation, and all those who have those feelings of hatred against this community, let it go. Please stop. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. Moving on. So, writing about suicidal thoughts. Yes, I have had times in my life where I feel like, yo, just ending it all. Something happened and got me in my feelings. Thankfully for me, I've had my faith in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I've had poetry, I've had music, I've had baseball, family and friends who are able to help guide me out of that dark place. But there are men out there that don't. Timer. I'm gonna finish this thought. There are men out there who don't have a safe haven or an outlet to release whenever those thoughts or those feelings of suicide, you know, creep into their mind. It's just attacks from the enemy, man. Please understand, suicide is never the way. I pray that you do find an avenue that you can release those feelings. Because, you know, my pastor once told me, Brian John, you know, if you keep all that suppressed, you know, that'll eventually become a heart, your heart will eventually become an ice cube, you know. Like I said, I have avenues to be able to melt that ice cube, but certain men don't, you know, and you end up turning to alcohol, or you turn to drugs, or you turn to promiscuity, and after a while, that no longer bandages the problem, and the only thing you can think of is, you know, killing yourself. We all know depression is a big topic in this country, especially amongst black men. I did not write this piece on behalf of black men or for black men. I wrote this piece for men. I do understand I am a black man, but before I'm a black man, I'm a man first. So to all my brothers out there who are struggling, there are other instances outside of the 4 topics I touched on that, you know, you could be struggling with. Once again, I just pray that you find relief. I pray that you are able to find an outlet, and just continue to hold on, man. You know, there's a brighter day tomorrow. Tupac said that. I'm a Tupac fan. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up because I got my salad ready and I had my shower, so I'm ready to eat and go to bed and watch Boston and Miami. God bless you all. Thank you for clicking on the link, and until the next video, scream at me.